I believe it's the everyday change maker, people like you and me, who have the power to make real meaningful change one small step at a time. Hi, I'm Linda Mackey, and I'm a personal brand photographer and coach, helping entrepreneurs to breathe life into their image, passion, and purpose. And this is the Eloquent Entrepreneur podcast, where I chat with my clients and change makers alike from across Canada and beyond about the work they do, the stories that have shaped them, and the impact that they're making, all to inspire and motivate others to do the same. Because making a difference just starts with showing up, and these conversations remind us just how empowering that can be. So welcome to the show and enjoy. Hi everybody, it's Linda Mackey of Linda Mackey Creative, and we're back again with the Eloquent Entrepreneur, Conversations with Everyday Changemakers. And today I'm excited to have my very good friend and client, Shelley Essery, here today. She is a multi-passionate entrepreneur, educator, workshop facilitator, and she's the founder of the Empowered Estate with her partner, Carla Kerr. And she and Carla help families have the kind of conversations that most people want to avoid, the ones about death, legacy, and planning ahead. But she and Carla are doing it with compassion, clarity, and heart. And Shelley is also the author of two very powerful books, The Empowered Executor, The Executor's Survival Guide, and Life Revived, Business of Living. So through her workshops, community talks, and one-on-one guidance, Shelley is creating a movement around proactive values, end-of-life planning, with the goal of keeping families connected, even through life's most difficult transition. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome, Shelley. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Linda. It's so fun to be here. I am doing great. Always happy to share what I'm doing and meet with one of my favorite people. So thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us about your work and what you're focusing on right now with the Empowered Estate.
Thanks, Linda. And I love that question. What we're focusing on is we are so focused on supporting families. So we all know that death and dying is not one of those topics that people want to talk about. So we like to rephrase it and talk about family and love and legacy and approach it from that angle, because it really is about the people that you leave behind. You don't do this work for you. It's something that it's a gift, really, that you do for others. So that's really what our focus is on, is supporting families.
Let's talk about your origin story. I mean, I know there's a deeper reason why we do what we do, and I'd love to hear more about that. What's the story behind it? Was there a moment that sparked your passion for this work?
Yeah, great question. My past is as a legal administrator. So I have years of experience working in a law firm with seeing executors come in after a death, or families with that deer in headlights look. There's chaos, there's confusion. And I've just seen so many families fall apart at this time. Death tends to bring out the worst in people. And it's usually because of a lack of communication. People are just confused. It's a highly emotional moment. And so when we can step back and do some advanced planning, have conversations in advance, it just eases so much chaos around that. And I've experienced that in my own family, and I've seen so many other families go through this. And so my passion is really in just doing what we can do in advance to limit the confusion, the chaos, and really try to keep families together at a moment where they really need each other.
Exactly, yeah. And when my dad passed away, and I shared this with you a while ago, that my dad had a similar binder, and it was just so helpful for us because it literally had everything that my brother and I needed to make the transition and, make sure we had all the information, with his sale of his home, like just everything, like every single detail, all his bank accounts, to wrap up his life and make sure that we were set up properly in the way that he intended. So let's talk about that. Okay, so let's get a little deeper, because this is really important, that we want to talk about, not just what you do, but how you make people feel and how you help people. Can you talk a little bit about, the kind of transformation that you want and hope people will experience when they work with you?
Yes. So the transformation that most people get is just that peace of mind, that relief. in almost every workshop that my partner and I have done, we have had people come up to us at the end with tears, like, just thank you for holding space. Thank you for offering your guidance. It's so many people actually want this. They know it's important. A lot of people just don't know where to start. And by having that space, and also two experts in the room with you to answer your questions, to give you that guidance, and do it with compassion and heart. We're not there to say, you should. Everybody knows they should. We're there to say, where are you? How can we help today? And let's just get started. Let's start where you are. The binder is complete with literally everything, as you mentioned. So everything that your executor is going to need, the questions will be answered in this binder, which is
right.
fun.
Yes.
Also has a legacy section at the back, so it becomes a keepsake for your family. So we approach it not just with the practical stuff, finances, testamentary documents, that kind of stuff. We also talk a lot about family legacy, because those are the things that get lost. We don't talk about it. Those stories are so important.
Exactly. Yeah. And you made a good point too. It's, for your executor, so that it takes the pressure off of, knowing what your executor needs. To glimpse into your world. Like, what does your typical day work or look like for you right now around this work?
I'm so fortunate. I love what I do. So typically I'll spend my mornings working on some administrative tasks and maybe planning out some presentations. We do a lot of free community events just in educating and informing and guiding people. So oftentimes that's what my morning is spent doing. And then the afternoons and evenings are spent either for one-on-ones with families or for workshops. We like to host workshops and get a group of people together to support each other, because it's also about community, what we're creating as well. So, yeah.
Exactly. No, that sounds great. And I've always said to you, like, it's a bit, because this is a fairly new business, but it's something that is so desperately needed. I'd love to hear, I know you've had a lot of success stories, probably with every single one of your clients, but is there one that stands out that you can share a little bit about, how, your work with them has impacted their lives in a positive way?
Yeah, there's been a few. I'll just give you two short stories that are just my two favorites. There was one client that we had, one lady, she lives locally here with us, but her family is nowhere around. And so she didn't even know where to start. She wasn't sure like what to do, who to appoint. She got a binder and joined one of our workshops, and we just sort of walked her through meeting some resistance as we went. It's interesting how this kind of brings up resistance. Having this conversation sometimes brings up other trauma or other issues. So it's never really just about what the work that we're doing. So,
that's true.
but we kept working, we kept having these conversations. We also have what we call our accountability party. So once a month for free, if you bought a workshop with a binder, you can show up and just continue to stay engaged, ask questions, and get the work done. She kept coming back and she kept coming back. And the last accountability party, she showed up and she was just like, I am here to celebrate. I got my work done. These things she was adamant wasn't going to happen. Like, she got everything done. It was so amazing. She felt so much calm. She was so excited. It just lit. Both Carla and I were just like thrilled.
That's
everybody
amazing.
else got motivated. Everybody else was cheering. It was just like, this is the community that we're building. So we're super excited to get in there and see that little bit of resistance, because it is a little like, nobody wants to talk about this, right? It isn't that exciting, but she stuck with it and she kept re-engaging, and the elation and the excitement in her having completed the work and gotten through, like, just over those hurdles that she didn't know how to even start conversations.
I guess something sparked in her, realizing, oh my God, this is really, key information that I really needed to get done. And so that it gives me the peace of mind now.
Exactly. Yeah. She has that piece of, and I think it was just getting the first thing was just finding a place to start, just getting that starting point, and then having the ability to ask questions and stay engaged in a community that was going through something similar. So that was really amazing. And one of my other favorite things, and this is literally what launched the Empowered Family, was we recently worked with a family where there was like mom actually wanted to have these conversations. Kids were having a hard time, didn't want to talk about it. And we were able to bring them all together. And the feedback we got from this session, like the peace of mind, just so like you could just feel the warmth and the love and the connection. And so that really inspired both Carl and I at the end of that this is work that we really want to pursue and keep doing. We're not just doing paperwork. We're not just having conversations. The information's out there. It's in how we're sharing it, and it's how we're bringing people together and offering tips and strategies for having conversations. It's about families and connecting people. So it's those, I would have to say those top two are right now are my favorite, just because they're the ones that motivate and inspire and really bring home why we do what we do. And it's not about the paperwork at all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it sounds like you're bringing people closer, bringing families closer together and focusing in on what's really important in life.
Exactly.
Which is each other. So.
Exactly.
So you mentioned in your first story there about the accountability party. I would love for you to share more about that, because this is where you're really making a difference in the community. So I'd love for you to share a little bit more about that.
Thank you for asking about that. Honestly, Linda, this is our favorite term. We created the accountability party because we didn't want to just hand over a binder or teach a workshop and then brush you off. We wanted to offer an opportunity for people to come back and keep engaged, because we know that that's the key to getting this work done. So the accountability party is free to anybody who has joined a workshop with the binder, gone over their workshop. They've got it started. Once a month, Carl and I will get on and we will do a deeper dive on one of the topics. And it allows people to show up and ask questions on maybe what's come up for them. They can share their excitement over what they've accomplished in their binder. They can ask any questions that they want. And if we don't have the answers, of course, we're always happy to refer them. We have a lot of referral partners that we also work with as well. But the community that is starting to be built off of this accountability party is just incredible. The last accountability party, Carl and I just sort of opened it up and we did our thing. And then we just allowed this space for the members to share stories with each other. And it's just so beautiful having this space. Carl and I get inspired. Like we just, it's really
must feel so good.
So beautiful to have this space. Yeah. Exactly. So this is what our accountability parties are. Hopefully in the future, like right now, they are being done online because we do have clients in a few different provinces. But hopefully we can start hosting some local ones in person, which would be just amazing.
Yeah, so that would be amazing.
Engage with each other.
Count me in. I definitely need to get, my binder and just, I want to be part of it. So I'm really excited about that. Thanks for sharing.
Well, it's awesome because it is a lot of work, and you have a binder, so you know how much work is involved and how thick the binder is. And so we really like to encourage people, just take out a page or two. Just say this week, I'm just going to focus on getting this done. So we offer tips and strategies too, to just gradually and slowly get the work done. And eventually we'll all get there, but things are always changing. And again, we know that this work is not the most exciting, but we feel by offering the accountability parties, and it's we named it party for a reason. we both like to have a little fun.
Well, it sounds like, you don't want to just join one, you want to join more, because each time you probably get more insights and more tips and more, the light bulbs go off of, I need to include that in the binder or this in the binder. So I think it's really great to be part of that, community, and just keep, showing up as much as you need to get it done.
Right. So. And the questions that we're getting from our clients through these are helping us with future editions of the binder, because we are updating it every time. And so the questions that are coming up are really encouraging and motivating, and it's expanding our knowledge and how we can also show up and serve. So it's like our community is showing up for us, and they are helping, our clients are helping build the empowered state as well.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's a win-win for sure.
It's a win-win. It's all about people. my most recent book is the Executor Survival Guide from the Empowered Executor, which is my little sidebar off of the Empowered Estate, where I'm also a certified executor advisor. So I really support the executors. But this book was written based on my experience in the legal industry. So if you had come into the law firm as an executor, this would almost be part of the conversation that I would have with you. And it speaks to the executor, but it was written for the will maker, the executor, and the family. I go over the executor's role, their responsibilities, their duties. I also built it out for the will maker, so the will maker can read through. Oftentimes, will makers really have no idea what the executor is going
It's
to
true.
They really
I've been in that position before. So. Yeah.
And it's so true. I've had will makers flip through this book and they're like, oh my gosh, like now I feel bad about appointing so-and-so as my executor. And of course, I'm like, well, don't. But now you know the work that's involved, the amount of work that is involved in being an executor. So maybe we can shift the burden from the executor a little bit back to you, like just in the advanced planning, which is, of course, what we do with the Empowered Estate. But by sharing that information, it really gains that knowledge and that information, that inside scoop of what the executor is going to face. So also, I really support the families to read it too, the family members, because the family members are entitled to certain information. Certain information, not so much. Certain information, they absolutely are. So it's a really great guide for even a family member that's going through this to know, oh, this is what the executor, oh, my brother's the executor of mom's estate. This is what he's dealing with right now. This is the information that I have access to. This is what he should be sharing with me. Why don't I have that information? So it really helps speak to that, but it's also from a holistic perspective as well. So the executor, I would love to get in touch with the executor will maker in advance, because before going into the executor role, it's so important to almost have a self-care plan in place as well. So I do talk about the holistic pieces as well. We talk about maybe even just like where's your favorite place to go for, like just in nature, just to kind of reconnect. What's your favorite comfort food? Because we often forget that while the executive role is one that's very important, it's very paperwork heavy, it's also very emotional. They're managing their own grief. They're managing a job that they were never trained to do. They're also managing the family's emotions and questions, and they're dealing with government and all these other aspects. So it's a lot of weight on the executive's shoulders. So the book was really written from that perspective to provide the information, the education, and also ensure that the executor is taking care of themselves as well. So I never want to minimize the role. For sure, it's a highly responsible role, but there's always a method to the madness. And I think that if you follow the system and you have the right professionals, the right people in your corner, you have a plan, it can really ease the burden. So that's my little rant, I guess, on that.
Well, I can't wait to get my copy of the book. And also, you are going to meet with me and my family to make sure that we're all set up and we understand, everything that we need to know in terms of, the end of life planning binder that we have, make sure that it's all, all the right information, and for the benefit of my son as well. So he understands kind of the process. So I'm super excited to do that. So, and, just from personal experience, I mean, like I said, my dad had a binder, but your binder is so much more than that. I mean, it's got everything that the family needs, to know for future, like down the line, and, making sure that all the finances, all the real estate, all the, the memories and the legacy and, the wishes of the loved one that's passing on, is the correct information. And it is very emotional. So, I'm excited to, finish my binder with your help. But yeah, it's just such a special and much needed service. So I'm super excited for you in this journey. And so about your book, where can people get that?
Yeah, so they can actually get it from Amazon, Chapters Indigo, or they can get it through me directly as well.
Awesome. And you're on your website as well, right?
Yes, that's right. It's on the website as well. So yeah, absolutely happy to share it. And I know I've had such great feedback. I've had clients that have reached out, and I've actually had people buy it in multiple copies. Believe it or not, it's rare for someone to just buy one copy. I sold it to one person, they read it, and they bought 4 more copies. I need it for my executor. My sister's coming down. So I really felt like I accomplished my mission with that. Just wanting to get the information out there and share with not just the executors, but people that are facing will making or end of life. And part of the thing is too, it's like that incapacity planning, because oftentimes we're so focused on if you die that we forget that oftentimes is that incapacity stage where powers of attorney and all that other stuff come into play as well. So having those conversations up front are so tremendously helpful for everyone.
Yeah, and that's a good point. We just never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So the sooner we get this done and share it with all our loved ones, they can be prepared as well. So what keeps you motivated and connected to this purpose? Because it's so important.
What keeps me motivated is, well, my kids, for one thing, I never want them to have to go through what I've seen other families go through. So they're sort of my inspiration for doing what I do. But honestly, what keeps me motivated is the clients that come up to us after the one-on-ones, the workshops, even those community presentations. It's people coming up to us at the end of these presentations and just saying, thank you. Like, there's often tears in their eyes. They're just so grateful that somebody is there holding space. And that keeps me, I really feel like I'm doing some good and offering some support and peace of mind.
Yeah, and I can tell every time I talk to you, you just light up, and it's just, I can tell this is it. This is your passion. This is your purpose, and it's so exciting. Yeah. And I'm always so excited for you. So let's talk about, this is all about everyday change makers, and I definitely put you in that category. So if someone's listening and they want to make a difference, but they're not sure where to start.
My first thing is always really like, what are you already doing for people in your life? Because the thing is, somebody is going to need what you are already offering your family, your friends, your loved ones. But they might not have someone in their life to be that support, to be their cheerleader. Whatever comes natural to you, what feels good to you, what people are attracted to about you is such a great place to start, because somebody needs that. That's your spark.
Very well said. I totally agree. So if we fast forward like 5 years from now, what would you say is your big dream and vision for this work?
I really would love to take this in different provinces and host larger events and just continue to help more and more families. There's so much work that needs to be done, and we're excited. Carla and I are excited and super impassioned, and I would love to start taking this to other provinces.
Exactly. And you also talked about the empowered family. Can you talk about that? Because I know that's part of your vision as well.
Yes, absolutely. So the empowered family has kind of come up from the questions that we've been getting out of the empowered estate. And what it really is, it's just helping families facilitate those tough conversations. Because we would get so many questions around, well, mom doesn't want to talk about it, or mom is saying, oh, my kids don't want to talk about this. And it's oftentimes just having a third party to come into the space and really gently ease into those conversations. And we always find that once we open the door, start talking about values and traditions, then that leaves space for those bigger, more important conversations. And there's always some laughs, there's some tears, but there's always some laugh and some comfort in that as well. And so seeing that come out of the empowered estate and how we can move into a space to support families and more has just been absolutely incredible.
Exactly. And that's just the crux of everything, because it is all about family and making sure that everyone is taken care of. And the person that's passing on is going to have that peace of mind, knowing that, their family is being taken care of. So that's amazing. So let's talk about, I know we've talked a lot about your mission and telling your story and helping people understand what you do is a big part of actually reaching the people who need you. So when it comes to sharing your work online in workshops and conversations, what have you found in terms of like from a marketing perspective, or even just, in whatever way, what have you found that works the best for you in terms of connecting with your audience?
Well, it really is about the image that you present to the world. So it's finding your confidence and a way to showcase the confidence. And I know you and I have had several conversations about this, and you've really helped with the personal branding and the messages. And we've worked together in photography, or you've taken my photos and my images. And that really does help when you, especially when you work with somebody who understands both you and personal branding, because it helps bring out that confidence, which really comes through in your client, the way that you present yourself to your clients and attracts clients to you.
This is part of why I love the show. It's because I get to sit down with people like yourself and, help you tell your story visually. So you talked about our branding shoot. We've done a few photo shoots together already, but I would say, what was that experience like for you? Can you share with people, how do you see those photos supporting you as a person and a business owner and your message that you want to communicate?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the experience was phenomenal. It was actually a lot more fun. It felt like it might be a little intimidating, but your process is just seamless. You do so much work preparing your clients so that when we get into the session, the energy, we've already got a plan, the energy is already there, and you have such a keen eye to get the angles right and to bring out the personality. So that's what shows up in the images. And if you get that in your photography, that's what's going to come across in your marketing. So that was huge, just putting your clients at ease. You put me at ease and made the fun process fun, which is so important to me. I know the industry that I'm in, I've got to have some fun in there. So
yeah, I'd be curious to know, like, what photo or photos stood out for you, how have they worked for you, where have you used the photos? I think that would be really beneficial for the listeners to know, because I often get people saying, well, I just need a headshot, but they don't really know, why or where they would use their photos, or any branding photos for that matter.
Absolutely. I forget, would I get 7 photos from you? And I use them everywhere. Like, they're across my website, they're in my marketing, I use them in my social media. But my favorite photo, for sure, hands down, is the one that we took for my book cover. I mean, that was one whole experience. I do love it. It's like my official photo. I feel it's very representative of how I wanted to come across and present myself in that space.
So I always say that, branding photos are more than just headshots. They're about showing people who you are and why your work matters. So looking back on everything we've talked about, if someone's listening and thinking about sharing more of their own message, what would you say to them in terms of just what we were talking about? I mean, I know it's kind of like, fairly straightforward, but I'd love to hear it from your perspective of, if you were talking to somebody, what would you say?
Authenticity. And I know that term is overused, but it is so true. It's especially when you're getting into, everything image, right? You want to be planned and prepared, and sometimes you lose the authenticity in that. And so keeping it natural and while making it authentic, like just bringing yourself, bringing your spark, bringing your light. And so in that respect, it's also very key to work with the right people. So working with the right photographer, or literally any aspect of your business. It's all about relationships and being comfortable with who you're working with.
It's so amazing having you on the show, and I'm super excited for you and Carla and the next chapter of the Empowered Estate and the Empowered Executor. Everything that you're doing is just going to be amazing. And I think, like I said, once you get the momentum, it's just going to be amazing. The more people you reach, the more people are going to share, and the more success you're going to have in your business, and the more people you're going to be able to help. So I'm super excited for you. So I want you to share with everybody how they can reach you, anything that's coming up for you in the next little while that you want to share. That would be amazing.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. So we can be reached at theempoweredestate.ca. And if you want a copy of my book or talk about the executor role, you can reach me at theempoweredexecutor.ca. So very close to Empowered Estate and the Empowered Executor.
Excellent branding, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Good chat. And we do have some events coming up. We've got one that we're working on in May, which is going to be a really interesting conversation with someone that I don't want to share too many details here because we haven't.
Yeah, we'll make sure to share in the show notes, so everything will be there Yeah.
Yes, please stay in touch. We're on social media as well. And we also have a newsletter. So if your guests want to stay up to date with what we have going on or just want some basic tips and tricks, they can get on our website, the empoweredestate.ca website, sign up for our monthly newsletter, and that way they can just stay engaged. They don't have to purchase, but they'll at least get some information and know what we have coming up.
Excellent. Well, thank you again. And I can't wait for your next shoot with me and to be part of your accountability parties and all your workshops. So thank you again for coming. And thank you, everybody, for listening today. It's the Eloquent Entrepreneur, Conversations with Everyday Changemakers. I'm your host, Linda Mackey of Linda Mackey Creative, breathing life into your image and your passion and your purpose. Visit me at lindamackey.ca and also the Eloquent Entrepreneur or eloquententrepreneur.ca and for future episodes, which you can find on any and all platforms. So thanks again for joining and have an amazing day.
Oh, wow. I want to be there. Yeah.